Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I'm K Cosmic.
My friend, we have a lot to talk about today. Let me tell you. My goodness gracious. Did anybody expect what was going to be happening throughout this last week in the Call of Duty Zombies world?
I mean, honestly, man, I know we didn't because we're re-recording this episode.
Truthfully, everybody, we are re-recording this episode because we did not expect this to happen. We actually had a completely different episode recorded for this week. We're re-recording episode 86 here. We had to 86 episode 86 and make a new episode 86. So
that one's gone to the vault.
That one's gone to the dark ether, and
it's gone now.
We're re-recording because we have to talk about all this insane stuff. Which Where do we even start? Where would you like to start?
I mean, let's start with the. I there's a lot of exciting stuff to go over, but I think we'll start with the biggest thing, the most important thing with this update from Treyarch is Shinonuma Reborn, round-based zombies coming to Vanguard.
Yes, sir.
It looks like they're scrapping the objective-based stuff.
Yes,
or they're doing it for this part of the season or whenever
they are done with objective-based.
They're done. They're donezo.
They're done with objective-based. They said in their blog post, they're not doing any more objective-based. Sacrifice is the last objective that's ever going to be added ever. And they're doing Shinonuma Reborn, reimagined Shinonuma with an Easter egg, with a Wonder Weapon quest, with side Easter eggs, with all of that kind of stuff. Back to OG zombies. And you gotta commend them for listening to the community.
I mean, listen, you did. Here's the thing. Like, I'll shit on all the objective stuff from before, but you're actually like, you're fixing the issues that are there. Which the biggest issue with the game was probably the objectives, underlining everything. That's where all the problems kind of stem from. Don't get me wrong. There's other stuff like with the pausing and other kind of like just weird game breaking stuff, right? But in terms of actual gameplay and fun, you are listening to the community and are kind of redoing your chance for zombies, I guess you could say, because we weren't really expecting this obviously to happen. So 100%. I mean, what are your thoughts and opinions on this whole thing? Are you happy objective is kind of going away for now, or what's your?
Yeah, I think the thing is that you got to keep in mind, and I've said this before, you have to also give him credit for trying something new.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
You had to give him credit for trying something new with objective-based, but it just didn't land with the community. I think objective-based could have been good if, certain things actually worked and maybe some of the objectives weren't as tedious, like sacrifice. That's like one of my least favorite things ever. And, it just felt kind of off. And, I was previously excited for the kind of the mix of round-based and outbreak objective style, and then it's together, and then it's not really the greatest, So I think it could have been an all right game mode. It could have been an all right premise concept, but like it didn't really land. And now that they're scrapping that, I understand. I totally understand why they're scrapping it because nobody likes it really in the community. I mean, I'm sure there's like a small percentage of people that do actually like it, but round based is where it's at. Let's be honest. I think everybody expected round based to be in the game from the start. And I said this earlier on one of my live streams too. Even if they were going to continue objective based, which it looks like they're not going to, even if objective based should have been a side game mode, kind of like how Onslaught was to normal zombies. So I mean, I kind of feel like Vanguard Zombies would have been better received if they had started with Shinonuma Reborn and then were like, hey guys, check out this Duron Fong side game mode, and whatever, right? I feel like it would have been more well received, but, Treyarch took a chance and they were like, hey, maybe this will be good for the community. Maybe they'll like this instead, and that didn't really happen. So long story short, you got to give them credit for trying, but then you got to give them a lot more credit for actually listening to the community and making round-based the focal point yet again.
I completely agree, and I agree with what you're saying about Onslaught. Their attempt at zombies this year round, it definitely felt like a side game mode. Like I wouldn't put it past a side game mode. And it feels like something like Onslaught, given it the year of updates and content, could have been something really fun, and we all reflect on it and actually really enjoy it. But for it being the main staple zombie experience there, it just didn't hit the mark, like you're saying. And again, credit for something new, like Onslaught. Onslaught was new and over time did really well.
Right.
And Vanguard Zombies, well, in the state it's currently in, it could have been like that if it kept going and getting the updates it needed. But it's just that standard round base, which is like the base premise of every zombie game, wasn't there. And I know people have their opinions on it, like, oh, if you stand up for round base so much, you're just like, oh, living in the past, you don't want anything new. And then you got the complete opposite, where it's like round base is the only thing zombies should do because that's what zombies is.
Yeah.
Again, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle where I want new ideas, I want new stuff, but I want like that content we're familiar there as well. Yeah. So
I mean, I get what you mean, man.
Again, credits due. Absolutely incredible that they're listening to the community and going for the round based route. Would I like to see Vanguard Zombies? How would be in like a year's time with all the updates? Absolutely, but only on the condition that had a survival map or a few survival maps standing beside it as well. And it didn't have that there at launch, so it's not a reality possible with the team that's probably there. And I don't mean in terms of capability, because everyone at Treyarch's really good. I'm not bashing on anyone. It's more just the numbers and how much funding they actually get. I imagine for Vanguard Zombies, it can't be that big, I would think. So, yeah, we all know at the end of the day as well that Treyarch's team is trying to do the absolute best they can do with the resources and numbers they have. So, yeah, I mean, overall for Vanguard Zombies, I'm pretty happy with the direction it's going. I'll have to reinstall the game now. So
yeah, man. Hey, we gotta hop into some Shi no Numa Reborn. I mean, what's really interesting about this too is like you're talking about with people like, oh, you're living in the past with, you just want round based, and people call those kind of people, oh, you're just a Black Ops 3 shill, you're just a whatever, right? But I think at its core, Zombies has always been round-based. Zombies has always been that wave after wave horde survival game mode, and that's what's at its core. See, the thing is that I think a lot of people, and why objective-based didn't land with a lot of people, is, Treyarch themselves said in the like the pre-game kind of hype-up interview stream that they did for Vanguard Zombies, they themselves said that they're like, okay, let's rework how how the community experiences killing zombies, right? Because of course, fundamentally at its core, it's all about killing zombies, right? But they tried to fix something that wasn't broken. So I think that's a huge part of the reason why it didn't land as well. And then the people also were they're like, oh, well, you like all these new things, well, you must be a Cold War shill, you must be you must be stupid or whatever, right? And it's like, I don't know, can we just like knock it off for like 2 seconds and just like, appreciate that new things are being tried with what they're given, when the resources and the time and money that they're given. And if things don't work, well, things don't work. Shit happens and you move on, and then you learn from it and you make something new and you try again. And, we haven't really seen round based in Vanguard either. So this is still technically something new, right? And, also I've seen people argue that, well, how come it's just taking them so long to port over round-based? How come it's taking them so long to just copy and paste round-based into Vanguard? Right?
Yeah.
Also keep in mind, they've never worked with this engine before. They've never worked with this style of gameplay before. They're used to working on their style of zombies. So they're building round-based from the ground up on this engine for Vanguard. And so round-based and zombies as we know it will probably be a little bit different. Even from Terra Maledicta and Duran Fong, I think it could be a little bit different. So, I think we should give it a little bit of time. I think we need to be patient because it's coming out in Season 4. They said after Season 3 it will be coming. Give them some time. Be a little bit more patient. And you know what? Give it a try. Let's give it a try before we start slamming it, and let's see what happens here. I, for one, am super excited for a remastered Shi no Numa. Definitely, I think there's gonna be some new areas, a new wonder weapon, hopefully, or if they want to continue the Decimator Shield thing with the tome pages, maybe the Decimator Shield will come back. And I hope they make it better because the Decimator Shield isn't that good. I don't know. I want to give it a chance.
I think if they're remaking, because obviously it's not remastering. That's the word. What's the word? What's the remaster or remake?
Reimagine.
Reimagine. That's it. Reimagine. That's the word I am looking for. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would love to see some sort of variant of the Wonderwolf. I think it's only fair.
Yeah.
Shi no Numa. And don't get me wrong, again, right? Because I can already hear it. you guys are just reusing content. Who cares, right? We're getting what we want, and honestly, I don't care. Like the same people in Cold War complaining about the Firebase despawn room, like, oh, this was in the campaign. This was in the campaign.
If they never reused assets, zombies wouldn't exist. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Nakter and Totem, Varuk, Chino, Numa, certain parts of Dries from the campaign.
You know.
I mean, Kino. I mean, I don't know if you could class Kino the Totem as reuse assets because they.
Well, I'm sure there's some here and there because that's just game development. Like,
yeah.
It's not that big of a deal, really. I really don't give a shit, you know? And I think it's really funny, too, how, you know, I remember a while back, people were like, oh, it would be so cool to play zombies on multiplayer maps, right? You remember that back in, like, the Wii days? And then you get it, and then the community goes, well, this is just reused assets. Like, all right, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I get it, people's opinions can change over time, but, like, okay, what are we doing here? And you might not even like Onslaught as a game mode, and that's totally fine. But... at least,
I mean, here's the thing.
Real quick, here's a hot take.
Go ahead.
Everything that's happened in zombies currently has been a result of community feedback. Every single thing. I'm willing to bet. Okay, because all these people. Oh, Treyarch doesn't listen. Treyarch doesn't listen. Da, da, da. The thing is, they can't just do things right away. They put things in the next game. They develop things for DLC. Then, you know, oh, well, maybe this won't work for this game. Let's do the game after that, right? You know, they eventually listen. They do. They do. And this update for Vanguard shows that they do. And, you know, I just...
But it's not...
I don't know.
It's, it's one of them things where, like, it does take time and... community opinion can change. Honestly, it's quite scary how fast the community's opinion can change and stuff. Like looking back to like Zombies Chronicles, right? And how great that was. And people were like, we want more remasters. We absolutely love these old style maps in Black Ops 4. And then all the remastered maps and that. Obviously, they kind of replaced new content, which I don't think people were obviously happy about. Wasn't supposed to be like that originally, but that was just the case.
Oh, yeah. The game was like, I mean, Black Ops 4 is still great.
Yeah, obviously. And then everyone's just like, oh, they're just lazy. They're just remastering maps now and selling it as content. And then we get Cold War, where it's like, oh, there's only one map. Why is there only one?
Yeah,
because at that point, we were like, okay, we want one map that's completely polished, no issues in the game. And then we get one map. People are like, oh, that's just so boring. And it's like, stop. Just stop for 5 minutes, right? And just enjoy what you have.
Stop for 5 minutes. Stop for just 5 minutes. And like, take it all in, appreciate what's there, and then give your criticisms, right? I mean, I think there is definitely room for criticism and critique where it's due, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of the community doesn't know what they want, and that's why, you know, we're in positions where, you know, well, why isn't Zombies getting consistently updated? Why is Zombies, you know, why is Zombies the way it is? Why is there no esports Zombies? Why is there no extra funding into Zombies? Because I don't know, maybe the community doesn't know what the hell they want, and Treyarch is like, what do we do? And you know, especially with like esports Zombies and things like that, you know, I think with Obey Undead, all I'm gonna say about this is with the amount of people who complained about Obey Undead and just the vitriol that the team experienced, you know, like the community really doesn't understand what it wants, and the community really doesn't like. I don't know what the disconnect here is, but like they see someone doing something, and then I don't know if it's because they didn't get on the team and they're just salty about that or whatever. But you know, it's just one of those things where I go, man, you like what is this community like? Do you guys even like care about this actually? I mean, that's a whole other debate there when it comes to Obey Undead and competitive zombies and people being toxic about that. But back to just Treyarch and all that kind of stuff with Vanguard, I do think this could give them a chance to save Vanguard. I think this could give them a chance to make Vanguard into a really good game, actually. And we just got to see what happens from here.
I think with this is if there's even one there again, if Vanguard was finished off in the state like it is now, there'd be no reason to go back to Vanguard after the game's life cycle. If they can get this map out and it works, and you know it's obviously what we know, but it has new refreshing things, and the survival aspect of the game feels really good. There's something unique about it as well, because that's what brings people back to older zombie maps. I feel like is there has to be something you can do in it or something unique where you can't do it really in any other map. Obviously that core gameplay of, you know, survival is still there. That doesn't change, but the map, the personality of the map does, compared to previous. I mean, that's why people go back to like Infinite Warfare Zombies, because you can do so much in that game, which you can't really do in Treyarch, because they sometimes they innovated more than Treyarch in a lot of aspects as well. So yeah, again, if they could make one solid survival map and then that's it, you know, I'm happy with that, because I was expecting to not get anything like that at all.
That's
I mean,
true.
I'll hold my hands up. I said that I thought the pause button was going to be like factions, where it just wasn't going to come, and obviously it did come. Obviously, it's not.
I mean,
like amazing, because it's
it's a
still
2-hour pause. Like, I think there's
yeah,
definitely that's one of the things where I kind of shake my head. Then I go,
yeah,
you know,
exactly, right,
Treyarch, you're not entirely out of the woods yet. Like,
yeah,
like you know, there are a couple things that kind of make me go, really, like, come on,
why is that there?
right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not gonna look at everything with rose tinted glasses and be like, wow, look how amazing
Yeah,
everything is and whatever, right? Even though it might sound like I'm saying that. Maybe just because, you know, Treyarch is my favorite developer and they're the better Call of Duty studio when it comes to zombies and things like that. But I digress. You know, I think yeah, you got to look at things objectively, and you got to point out when things aren't like functional or
right.
things aren't
Yeah,
good. You know, even some of your favorite
yeah.
studios, right? Like the pause button, the server latency, and the lag, and the kicking for an activity. Like, come on, guys! Like,
I mean,
you're not out of the woods yet. If y'all can figure out a way to fix that, that'd be great.
yeah, exactly. I think it's important not to look at the game through like rose tinted glasses as well, because they're doing stuff we want them to do now. But again, needless to say, I'm so surprised that we're actually getting something, and the fact that they're
Yeah.
completely scrapping that system. I thought they were just going to keep going with it, to be honest. And you want to know something? It makes me. I'm happy that they're going the route of survival. I do wish they could have tried their new thing, and I don't know how this will affect the future for zombies in terms of new content. Just because obviously Activision looks at something like that and thinks, oh, well, they don't like new stuff, so we're not going to try new stuff. Obviously, we know we want new stuff, that we want that standard survival to be the more important thing at launch, and then they can do it over time. You know what I mean? Like Outbreak.
I get what you
No
mean,
way.
but I think to me what this, if I was Activision, I think what this says to me is, okay, they didn't like the hybrid game mode, but a lot of people still like Cold War, and that's why you know Treyarch is doing all this Cold War Year 2 stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute here. You know, oh my God, people are excited about Cold War Year 2. You know, so we got Outbreak and we got Round Base there. I don't know. To me, that's a sign for them to separate it again. Like, to me, that's like,
I mean, that's a good point as well. Actually,
in Treyarch's new game, Outbreak 2. You know, and then you have the also round-based maps that continue the Dark Ether storyline as well. So that's what I think. If I'm Activision, that's what I'm looking at and go, wow, you know, there's still really a big dedicated fan base for Cold War here. And Cold War obviously had the 2 separate game modes, and wow, people like that. Okay, let's do that again, right? If you're talking about, you know, oh, they don't want the new thing, let's go back to something that worked, and let's, you know, try new things with what we have. So it could be Outbreak 2 with new objectives. It could be, you know, fuck it, right? The rune objective where you collect all the rune stones and you put it in the Sin Eater. Like, put that in Outbreak 2 or something, right? And maybe make it a little bit different, where it's like, oh, you know, you have to fill up even more rune stones, like let's say 30 rune stones, and you know, there's rare rune stones that are worth like 5 stones, and you know, you gotta like, it's like a little Easter egg hunt or something. Like, I don't know, you could like change something. So I don't know. If I was Activision, that's what I'm looking at. But
I mean, that's true as well. I get, you all know something that is also true. I didn't really think about that. I guess when you think of it in a certain way, as well, obviously Trick came out when Outbreak came out, and so there's more people playing Outbreak than there was the maybe not the standard survival, but like there were so many people playing.
It was about
Outbreak
50-50 at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's what the conclusion everyone came to, and they came to as well. And Activision probably sees that and thinks, okay, they like experimenting with stuff. So it's not just like a one-off thing where it's like, they don't want new content, because they do. And when they're looking at Vanguard, perhaps they're just looking at it like, okay, the hybrid didn't work, but a separate open world game mode and then your standard survival, that's the middle ground.
Right.
And yeah, and honestly, I'm excited for this because obviously they're gonna have to change the way of game progression because they can't have the mystery box being the way it is and no wall weapons. And they've stated that they're already working on stuff.
Yeah, like they're trying to
to
figure out how
counter
to
it.
do wall weapons. They're trying to figure out how to do, like, which is on the surface that sounds sad, right? Like they're trying to figure out how to do wall weapons and trying to figure out how to do round based, right? It sounds really sad on the surface, but again, when you look a little bit deeper into it and you read the entire article instead of reading headlines and making an assumption, they're working on an engine they've never even worked on. They barely worked on at this point because of what, Vanguard Zombies is right now. So you got to give them a little bit of time to do it. And I'm glad that they said transparently, guys, gonna take us a little bit of time. Expect it after season 3, right? And you know what?
So it's not like them saying, "Oh, it's coming next week."
Yeah, right.
We're so excited to bring this in season 3, in the middle of season 3, because they know it's not going to be out by then. So that's good that they're given time to actually work on one piece of zombies content,
right?
And maybe we'll get another. Hopefully, but then again, we know that Vanguard's life cycle is probably going to be a lot shorter than.
It's a huge question mark, honestly.
Yeah, because it depends on really what they're doing in Modern Warfare too. Because obviously that's supposed to be getting revealed in the next few weeks.
According to some people, we don't really know.
Oh no, absolutely! It's getting news is coming out tomorrow about it. No,
right, yeah, tomorrow. Then we got to re-record again.
Go re-record again.
But I mean, hey,
but
I don't know.
News sources that's supposed to be coming out, obviously, or something's supposed to be coming out again. Not official stuff, just what's
who knows,
leakers and like news insights and all that. But there's been this rumor floating about, kind of like even since like the first month of Vanguard, I would say, where it's not going to have its season 6 or something like that.
Right, I have heard about that.
As we've seen with some of the delays in, I think, season 2, because they've delayed some stuff, haven't they? And it's taken a little bit longer for something happen. Yeah.
The thing is too, like with some of the seasons being a little bit delayed, also, and then you have other content being slightly delayed, right? Like they were supposed to add a new melee weapon to season 2, and that never happened. So I guess that got pushed back to season 3. And the seasons for Vanguard have been longer than Cold War's, so they're kind of like they're artificially stretching out these seasons to try to like fill in time. Because I mean, if the rumor is true that there isn't going to be a season 6 for Vanguard, we are only going 5 seasons. Then I think this is like our only proof. It's not really proof, but evidence, I guess. No,
but it's like
our only evidence that we have to see that, okay, maybe they're filling for time a little bit to like make it so that they don't have to do 6 seasons of content. But then it kind of hurts them a little bit because the seasons are stretched out. They dump everything at the start, and then it's like, okay, now it's time to wait a month and a half for the next thing, and then people are already moving on because the Call of Duty community consumes things like it's fucking popcorn, and it's like, all right, move on next. Now, what's new, So
let's have a look here. I'm trying to have a look to see here. So,
what you're looking at?
I'm looking at when season 2 ended in Cold War. It's saying here the 21st of April. Does that sound right?
I honestly don't remember.
Let's see.
When did it start? Season 2.
It says here February the 25th.
So February 25th to April 21st. Yeah, so that's roughly 2 months.
Yeah, so that's what it's saying here. I've looked at another one as well. April 21st is when it ends.
So then what I'm saying, okay, so the thing that I mentioned previously then would make a little bit more sense, because season 2 of Vanguard started February 14th. Season 2 of Vanguard is ending on the 27th when season 3 begins, right?
So it's like 2 more weeks of this season.
So yeah, you're getting like a week and a half, like 1 or 2 weeks more per season. And so that all adds up eventually to pretty close to another season if there were supposed to be a season 6 at the end. Because season 1 lasted, I think, a week longer than season 1 of Cold War as well. I think. Don't quote me on that. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But it feels like it lasted longer. I'll just say that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Seems very interesting. But you know what is going to be added to the game fairly soon, though.
And what's this?
Is Cold War Year 2 content for zombies.
Which is incredible because Cold War deserves that Year 2.
Agreed. Cold War 100% deserves Year 2. Cold War is one of the best zombies experiences out there, right next to Black Ops 3, in my humble opinion. I love Cold War.
Yeah.
And we're getting a super Easter egg, number 1, which is insane to think about, that we're actually getting a super Easter egg for Cold War. Which I don't know what that's going to be. We'll talk about that. And then there's also the Onslaught LTMs coming back to the game so that everybody can play them. You know, because before it was only a PlayStation exclusive, and people were like, "Ah, this is bad," you know. So now everyone can play them. I don't know if they're going to be around a limited time like they were before, or are they just going to be a permanent addition to the game. But you know, I hope they're a permanent addition to the game. Which, by the way, I believe I predicted that on a previous episode of the podcast, that that's what they should do for Cold War Year 2 content, which I'm happy. I'm happy that that's the case.
I'm happy that's coming out.
And then Outbreak is getting a little update too. They're adding the abominations to Outbreak, and the like the HVT abomination, where it's like a stronger enemy for the eliminate objective. And also, you got the new bundles, and they basically, in a way, confirmed that some of the bundles that were leaked are going to be coming soon as well. You know, they said new melee weapon, which I'm sure you guys know what that's all about. You know, a new ranged weapon they said is coming soon. So I'm sure you guys know what that's about as well. If you watch people like DK Dynamite, you're watching on Twitter, you know, you guys know what's going on. So yeah, I mean, a lot of exciting stuff going on, man. What are your initial thoughts about Cold War Zombies Year 2?
Well, first of all, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's something that Cold War definitely deserves, because I think, again, I think as a complete baseline package, and looking at the game from what it is start to finish with the content that's actually in it, first of all, it has the most content in the grind in any zombie game.
True.
A lot more than the past ones.
Agreed.
I think maps are made in a way where like people like us who've played multiple zombie maps, you know, in the past, you know, every zombie map, even from that all the way to would have been tagged or totem for this map would have come out, or Black Ops Cold War even. It gives old players something to come back to and play. But when new players come on, they don't get like, okay, I went over this bridge thing and a bunch of zombies spawned in and I died and I don't want to play this again. It doesn't hold your hand, but it guides you in a way where it's more of like a story driven, I guess you could say, where you have the options to go multiple routes, but to the same location, and it indicates where you want to go. And it was built like that from the base up because it was a new start. And Cold War is an absolutely great new start to the zombie story, I think, in terms of gameplay and story, obviously. So I think Cold War in general is the best zombies package we've gotten.
Like since Black Ops 3.
I mean, even looking at it compared to Black Ops 3, right? I think my heart says Black Ops 3 because I have all the memories on Black Ops 3.
Right.
I think the maps are better on Black Ops 3, right? I think Shadows of Yggdrasil and Draka, it beats anything Cold War can produce in terms of map content. But I think overall, with Cold War and the systems they have on it, it's like if Black Ops 3 maps were on Cold War, then
I mean, that would be perfect.
That'd be perfect. I don't know what else they could do. You know what I mean?
That would be amazing, actually.
Maybe some other system where like you could earn as you play, like Gobblegums, but not like Gobblegums, if you get what I mean. Because I know that's other issues, right?
Or but honestly, even like vice versa. Like, could you imagine something like Die Maschine on Black Ops 3? Which, by the way, there is that one zombies map, Der Bunker, which is basically that, which is a really fun map, by the way. And then you had, I think it was Mad Gaz as well, made the Forsaken starting room, the spawn room in Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies, where you can earn salvage and you can like all that, right? Which is really fucking cool. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, though. I definitely get what you're saying. I think Cold War has something for everybody. Cold War has something for the new players and the seasoned veteran for zombies. And, you know, for all the people who say it doesn't have content, I strongly disagree. You can upgrade things. You can get Dark Ether. You can do operator missions. You can do Dark Ops. You can do Easter eggs. You know, there's so many things you can do in this game. And, you know, I just think it's really fun to play. And there's a bunch of weapons to level up, new attachments, unique ways to use the weapons. Like, I don't know. It's just really, really nice to play.
No, absolutely. I think, like you're saying, there's just, it's overall a great game. And I mean, seeing all this new stuff coming to it, especially like onslaught limit time modes, which obviously when we were playing on PlayStation, we got all them.
Yeah.
We got all them limit time game modes, and now obviously since Xbox and PC have onslaught now, as it
Yeah.
was the big exclusive, now they're going to get to experience them all, which is very nice because
Yeah.
onslaught is a great game mode, but you have to experience it with all the content it has.
The other half of the community is getting some new content, which, I mean, I guess in a way, also the people who previously experienced it is also getting new content again. Because think about it this way. When some of those game modes came out, Onslaught was a different game mode back then, right?
Yeah.
So like Mystery Munitions, for example, one of my favorite Onslaught LTMs, which if you don't know what that is, basically it's gun game, but for zombies. Every round you get a new weapon. Or Surge, rather, because it's Onslaught. Every Surge you get a new weapon, and, you try to get as high as you can. And, previously they had it so that the weapons were pack-a-punched in Onslaught Mystery Munitions when you got higher into the surges. But correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Before all the chalices and before all the armor upgrades and all that were available, the Mystery Munitions was like the only game mode where you saw pack-a-punched weapons in Onslaught. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I could be right at the same time. It was kind of around that time. But and also there's gonna be new weapons in the Mystery Munitions rotation too, right? So you get to use things like, I don't know, the size, or use the what's another weapon, EM2, MG82, whatever, right? And it can make for different gameplay experiences. So in that way, it is new content. You're getting new weapon rotations and also new maps as well, new Onslaught maps to play the game modes on. So
yeah,
in a way, it is kind of new content. Even if, most of it might be from what we had previously, it's still something more. There's still something new to it. And that's what I think is going to be great about this.
I mean, absolutely, yes. I mean, as far as like, I wouldn't say saving the zombie community, because I think we're still
the zombies community got to save itself first.
Exactly, right. This isn't really on Treyarch to save the zombie community. I think it's more like the actual community itself that needs to figure out the stuff. But like Treyarch are doing a hell of a lot to help us. If I'm being honest,
Treyarch's doing a lot, man. And for the people out there who say they don't care, or the people out there who say they've fallen off, no. I don't think they have. This shows that they care. This shows that they're listening. This to me shows that they're frustrated.
Yeah.
Like this shows me that they're frustrated with how things have gone over the last like 6 months, and things they want things to be different, obviously. So, we're just as frustrated as you are, Treyarch, and we're glad that you guys are making an effort, and yeah.
I mean, absolutely. It's just, again, it's nice to see that we're getting updates, we're getting communication, and if things keep up like this, things are gonna be great.
Yeah.
I think the next big hurdle after this for the community, once we get our content in that, is what's gonna happen during Modern Warfare 2 again, or COD 2023.
2022, and also the lack of a Call of Duty in 2023. And the rumored free-to-play game that's supposed to be in 2023, and all that kind of stuff. Who knows what the hell's happening with that?
I know. I think that'll be the next hurdle. Obviously, we'll cross that bridge when we come, because that's something that we can deal with later.
Yeah, that's definitely a later thing.
Let the future zombie community deal with that. We can just enjoy the moment as of right now.
Also, oh my gosh, how do we not talk about this? Speaking of Treyarch listening to the community, who remembers Hollow's Eve Outbreak from season 6?
Yes, they're bringing
it back in a new game mode called Outbreak Collapse, and it's basically Hollow's Eve Outbreak, where you have the unstable outbreak zone, survive 10 minutes, it gets increasingly difficult, exfil, go to the next region. That was really fun. And I'm really curious to see how they're going to change it up from the Halloween thing, because the Halloween stuff was like, all right, yeah, shoot the pumpkin heads off a zombie, and the pumpkin gives you a little bit of a helping hand with a chalice or a gun, or the scare packages will just drop randomly, and you got to find it, and oh look, I got a score streak. Are they just going to make it like zombies will just have a chance to drop things instead of them having pumpkins on their heads, or I don't know, but that was just such a really fun game mode to just hop on, kill some zombies, kick some ass, and then, just go to the next region, and it's just fun, easy zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, not easy because, it can get kind of difficult.
It could get difficult, but like, you load in and you're right in like the combat and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And here's the thing that I appreciate again over time with Cold War, and they said this in an interview before the game came out. With Cold War, what they really wanted to do was emphasize the fun on killing the zombies itself.
Yeah.
So obviously that's why we got systems like the crafting table, where we got all of our kill streaks from there, and the weapons. There's so much customization in terms of pack a punching and alternate ammo types, and your specialist abilities as well, your field upgrades. There's so much there that, again, with the future of COD, with Treyarch actually having their own game that they can spend time on, and it's like a side project on a different like studio's game, I think we could really see something special. And another reason why I'm excited for Vanguard Survival, if I'm being honest as well, is like, because again, I think it's quite hard to look at Cold War and then Vanguard Zombies and then think, oh, the same team made this game, if you get what I mean.
I understand what you're saying.
They're so different. But I think with us, again, going back to like Survival, with Vanguard, I think we're going to see that flare again. So it's definitely and even hearing things like Outbreak coming back and that as well with their new game mode, which is again like that Halloween event that we had. Yeah, it's just good that we have so much stuff coming and we're not just get like no information. You know what I mean? Communication is one of the most important things with zombies, I feel like, from the devs. And 100%. I think it definitely has that highs and lows, but this is definitely one of the top times I think we've had for actual communication, for knowing what's happening, knowing what, like, is there stuff happening? Because that's all we really want if there's nothing coming out. We just want to know.
This is what's happening. This is the best example of who is the studio that communicates the most, and that is Treyarch. There is no refuting that. 100%. Treyarch is the most vocal in their communities. Treyarch updates people like this. They make their lengthy blog posts, and they do a really good job of updating the community on things and feedback and listening. And, you see people like Kevin Drew all the time on Twitter interacting with people in the zombies community. I see him all the time commenting under people's posts, like Greg and Perka and, people like that. So they just do the best job at doing it. And this just shows us, because what have we really heard from Sledgehammer through their game? This is supposed to be their game, and like nothing is being heard.
I mean, here's the thing, right? It doesn't feel like it. Sure, they made campaign. Fair. I'm pretty sure they did. Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure they did. Yes, they did. So, yes, they did. That's the one thing they made.
Zombies is
multiplayer, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like, okay, well, multiplayer. Sure, but, like,
okay, let's think about it this way, though. Campaign. Especially Vanguard's campaign, because Vanguard's campaign is mediocre at best. So you play the campaign once, you don't touch it again. That doesn't get any updates because for some reason campaign DLC is not a thing for Activision.
And they've never actually tried it.
So let's think about it this way. In terms of game modes that are supposed to carry a game throughout its life cycle and game modes that are supposed to be getting updates, 2/3 of that is Treyarch. And this is supposed to be a Sledgehammer game. When you boot up the game and it says on the title screen, a Sledgehammer game. No, this is like a Treyarch game. This is a Treyarch game. Treyarch's doing the best they can with what they're given. Sledgehammer's over here making the multiplayer. But are they? I don't know. It kind of feels like nothing's really changing with it. There's still packet bursts. There's still latency. Like, what the hell's going on at Sledgehammer? What's happening here? I don't really understand what's happening over there. Well, Treyarch, we have a better understanding of what's happening because they've been so vocal about everything. So, what's happening, guys? Like, I'm not saying this to diss Sledgehammer. It might sound like it, but I just want to know what the hell's going on. It's like, oh, we had a hot fix, and we buffed this gun's damage and we nerfed this gun's damage. Okay, let's focus on making the game playable first. Let's focus on not packet bursting every 10 seconds, before we start tweaking the guns. Like, I don't know. And here's
the thing as well, right? I haven't played Vanguard multiplayer properly in ages, but I'm pretty sure the best gun to use at launch till now has been the MP40, and it's still that.
Oh, dude, it's the MP40, and there's an LMG that I'm not kidding. It's called the Whitley. It 2-taps. I'm not kidding.
It 2-taps. Okay,
just
well,
bang, done.
Enough said. You know
Enough
what I
said.
mean? There
There's
should be
like,
a gun
yeah.
in the game, unless you're like is that like a far range, or is that like me like putting the gun to like your
Oh, you know,
chest
any
or
range is fine. You know, just use the Whitley. Just use the Whitley. You
you're
know,
playing
just go on
Warzone,
Desert
you're on the
Siege,
other side of the
hang out in
map.
your spawn, and, you know, just drop 100 kills in your spawn because you can kill people in 2 bullets, and then, you know, ruin the game for everybody, basically.
This might be a stupid question. I genuinely don't know. Is there's not thermal sights in the game, are there?
No, there are no. Oh, well,
Okay.
yes and no, but
How is
like,
there a thermal sight? What?
like it's.
Let me
I don't know. I
look
don't
it
know if
up,
they
actually.
call it thermal, but I think it's like night vision, right? Which is it called thermal? I don't know. I don't use thermal sights, so like,
Night vision scope.
is
Let's have
it
a look
night
here.
vision or thermal in the game? See,
I
this is
think
how
it's.
little I know about that.
Let's have a look
What
here.
is it? Because like I see it in my head, right?
Oh,
It's like
oh.
the gray and like the white outline of the person. I don't know if that's considered night vision or thermal in the game's standards, right? Um, what's it called? I'm actually, now that I think about it, I think it might be a thermal sight, which is weird.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's
It is a
I mean,
thermal.
name it whatever you want, right? But I mean, a thermal
Mhm.
doesn't have to be the one with color. It can be the black and white one as well, right?
I
As long
guess.
as long as like you know the player's highlighted.
I suppose.
That's funny. I didn't think that was in the game. I know
Yeah.
they have a bunch of attachments in that, but I can imagine that being a fan favorite site to put on that LMG if you can.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I've only used the Whitley a couple of times, and I don't know, man. I mean, maybe people would. Maybe people
I mean,
would.
I don't know. Yeah, with Vanguard multiplayer, again, it's a game that could be so good because we've seen like with the old World at War maps, the maps are fun
Mhm.
and the game is fun. But then there's just so many issues, like you're saying. Again, I haven't played the game properly in ages, but I think my biggest problem right now with the COD games is that yearly cycle in terms of multiplayer. At least
Yeah.
it's like why am I going to invest all this time into a game that in a year is going to be finished and I'm not going to play again? Don't get me wrong. I think there's exceptions. Um, and I think back
Mhm.
in the early days, it was different as well because it's just different time. But like, I want to feel like what I do is important
Right.
and it will last.
Like
And
here's
even
the thing about
yeah,
that, right? Like with what's going on here and with multiplayer being the way it is, you kind of go um like on paper this should be like one of the best multiplayer games ever, right?
yeah,
And then you
should
go
be.
into it and you're going, what the fuck's going on here, right? It says something, in my opinion at least, it says something where ranked play is actually more fun to play than public lobbies because of how things are just really messed up, right? And to be honest with you, man, Treyarch is also doing a really good job with ranked play. There's also some
Yeah,
ranked play
exactly.
updates coming
Yeah.
out with Season 3. And, you know, they added it so that if you complete certain challenges in ranked play, you get special exclusive blueprints to show off and be like, hey, look how good of a player I was in ranked play. I bet you wish you had this blueprint, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
there's actually more of an incentive to grind out ranked play. And, you know, you get special little things. And, like, wow, Treyarch's doing a good job with something that's not even supposed to be their game again. And it's
So
like...
again, even with the multiplayer, they can take that and pretty much fix it in rank play. Or not fix it, but you get what I mean. Like they make it so much better than it actually is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Again, Trick.
It's kind of crazy.
just put all. I don't know if this would be a good thing or awful thing, but just let all the studios work on their Treyarch and you know have one dev team work on each thing. Let the teams work together, right? A united front. Let Sledgehammer work on campaign or whatever. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe just
Nah, they're gonna.
Sledgehammer.
I think they're gonna be a support studio from here on out. I
Yeah.
think.
I can't imagine.
I
like,
don't imagine them having a mainline Call of Duty game after what
Call of
the hell just
Duty.
happened.
Call of Duty Vanguard 2.
What's funny about that too is there was an interview with the writers of the Vanguard campaign saying that they want to have a Vanguard 2 and a Vanguard 3.
That's a shame.
So, you know, I don't know.
Here's
Also, I mean, it's kind of harkening back to that interview too, with how the campaign was kind of mediocre. I think it was kind of a red flag, and I didn't see this until like a little while ago either. So I feel like for some people, it was a bit of a red flag when they heard at the interview that the writers of the campaign, like the writers of Vanguard, literally said that there's no iconic characters in Call of Duty for them to build off of. Like, really? Like, I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, what? No iconic characters? Like, even if it's like a World War II setting and some of the iconic characters like Mason, Ghost, Makarov, Price, you know, I could keep going. Weren't like in World War II eras. Reznov's in World War II. You can build off of that, or you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe have an ancestor of somebody because there's clearly family ties in the Call of Duty storyline. So like, I just don't understand what you mean by there's no iconic characters in Call of Duty.
Did they not play World at War?
Did they not play any Call of Duty? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Like,
okay, here's the thing, though, right? It's like they made Advanced Warfare in World War II, right? And here's the thing. Again, their games are all right, but then they're even just shitting on their own games. Like, there's no iconic characters. So when you're writing the story for Advanced Warfare and World War II, what were you doing then? You know, like,
I mean, I think it shows that their whole mindset of, you know, oh, they didn't think there were any iconic characters because they tried to make these characters iconic, but then these characters are very one-dimensional, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah, like the Ackman video says,
great
the
video.
writing's very much so like, again, it's like, what's your thing? Oh, I like to kill Nazis, and I'm here to kill Nazis, and that's what I'm going to do.
Half of the dialogue in the campaign.
That's their main character trait, and it's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, right?
What's frustrating about that too, real quick, what's frustrating about that is these characters have like a good start to their story, right? Like, oh, you know, Polina, she's vengeful for the Nazis killing her family and she wants revenge, right? But then like that's as far as it goes. Arthur Kingsley, he's a guy who has the qualities of a leader, and he's thrust into the leadership position, and he has to figure out what it means to be a leader and, you know, how to handle loss as a leader. Cool. Then it just stops. And then, you know, Wade, you know, he's hotshot pilot who, you know, which this one I don't even get this one, right? Hotshot pilot, and, you know, he might be a bit too cocky for his own good, but then he doesn't like learn fucking anything in his story mission. Like, I'm not even gonna get into it because, but like he's kind of a loose cannon, but like he doesn't learn anything, and then he still is a loose cannon, and he's still the same character, which, don't get me wrong, I like the hot shot American pilot, you know, go USA, World War II, bomb the living shit out of him, right? Like, let's fucking go. You know, I'm all for the hot shot American, being an American myself, but, you know, there's like no other character traits for him besides that, you know. And then you have Lucas, you know, defy authority, you know, he's got a dickhead captain, sergeant, whatever guy leading the platoon, and he defies authority. And then, like, that's it. And then that's where it stops. And then the campaign is like 2 missions of what the actual story they marketed was going to be, and then it's over. And then you go, what the fuck just happened?
Okay, hear me out here. Hot take, or maybe it's not. Ethan from Infinite Warfare has more charm, more charisma, has more human emotion than all these characters combined. Ethan is a much more memorable character. Ethan. I mean, here's the thing: it's truthful, right? Like, Ethan as a character is so much better than these people. like, because he's actually funny. He has charisma. He's like, he has that human aspect, you know. Like,
I'll pay for an Ethan operator.
Yeah, listen. Honestly, man, Call of Duty Ethan Warfare, please.
Ethan Warfare.
But it's truthful. It's like, there's so many, like, remember, like, scenes with him, right? Like, you know that one where on the ship, he's like, I have a brain of a farmer.
Yes.
Like, oh shit, really? No. It's like that's just funny, you know? It's like the character's charming, and there's actual like personality there, because they actually tried with his, like, you know, and there's a lot of emotional moments with him as well. You know what I mean? And it's like this game just doesn't do that. It doesn't do it.
Like, it tries to, right?
It tries
that's
to.
The thing.
Like,
it tries to, and you gotta like give him credit for trying again, right? But like, I don't know. I think a lot of people also, if people are watching this, even people from Sledgehammer, if you're watching this, right? I think the one thing you got to take away from this is that it might sound like we're just completely shitting on the game, but this is criticism. You know, you're allowed to make your content, and we're allowed to criticize it. And this is how we genuinely feel about it. And, you know, we just like, I don't know, it's just like nothing's really going on.
Here's what I'll say. It's better than Black Ops 3's campaign, but that's about it. I'm Black Ops 4.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Black Ops 4. I mean, you know, even Black Ops 3 had more memorable moments, though.
No, but like Black Ops 3 was a pretty big like shitstorm with the
yeah,
campaign.
Actually,
like,
that's a good question. Actually, what do you guys think in the comment section? Which campaign's better, Black Ops 3 or Vanguard? Let me know what y'all think.
I think Black Ops 3 in a way is more clever than Vanguard, but like, what would I sit through? What would I rather sit through, Vanguard or Black Ops 3's campaign? It definitely goes through
deeper themes than Vanguard's campaign.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think I'd rather sit through Vanguard's campaign than Black Ops 3, just because Black Ops 3 is like it's too much. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, here's the thing, right? Black Ops 3 had a lot of great meme material in the campaign.
True.
Right? Like, I had a lot of really like funny like content, you know, like just like playing like again, Train Go Boom, right?
Do we love Train Go Boom?
But like, okay. Maybe they're about equal. I think both stories are bad, right? Or quite mediocre. I'll say.
You know what's interesting about that too is like Vanguard's campaign isn't necessarily like a bad premise either.
No,
right?
No, it's like
there are interesting moments, but like
yeah. I think okay. I think maybe gameplay of Vanguard is more fun than Black Ops 3. Because Black Ops 3, I don't know. When I play it, I don't have any emotion. Yeah, campaign wise. Again, this is just campaign. This isn't like multiplayer zombies or anything. Because Black Ops 3 does both of them better than your game. But
your game.
Your game, but it's like Treyarch that are pretty much making the other game modes. So yes, Treyarch, your work from a while ago is still really good. So well done. It's aged extremely well. But the campaign, I don't know actually. It's either or, to be honest. I think Black Ops 3, the only real thing that I would want me to go for that is like the rare occasions where like there's a funny meme that happens or something.
There you go. We love meme material.
But no, I think Vanguard's campaign's better than Black Ops 3 in general.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay.
But yes, the one thing your campaign does better than any other COD campaign is that. And I mean, Advanced Warfare campaign was really good.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Advanced Warfare's campaign was really good. So it's not like you've not made good campaigns before. And World War II's campaign, I don't know, because my game just broke and I couldn't get past like the second mission. So
whoops.
I don't know. I know it's great. So I don't know how that campaign was.
It was all right. I don't remember much from it, but it was all right, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't really know why. I don't know when that campaign's based. Is it based to like the end of the war or something?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I don't even remember shit from that campaign. Like, I didn't play World War II very extensively, to be honest.
Yeah, because they could have done something connecting of that. I was saying that it's like it depends what's canon and not, because technically World at War is canon, right?
Right.
Technically,
I don't think World War II is canon. I honestly don't.
I don't think World War II is canon either. So I don't know. I just think it's a bit.
But by canon, of course, I mean the new canon, right?
The new canon, because technically, technically, some CODs are in their own universe. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: Infinite Warfare could be canon. Technically, it could. Well, yeah,
it's its own canon, really.
Yeah, and it's so far in the future from Black Ops 3 that I actually maybe not. I don't know. But no,
I mean, who knows?
Vanguard is very okay, and I don't think they're going to get their trilogy of games. I mean, look at it this way: the newest series in the COD franchise is still like Black Ops. It's the Black Ops universe,
right?
So I mean, yeah, that's it. That's it. The new. I know technically you could say, oh, well, Modern Warfare is like a new continuation, but that's already been established. The only reason they're doing that and using that name is because it markets really well. Like, oh, you remember the Modern Warfare game you played as a kid? Oh, we're bringing it back and redoing it.
Right.
And I mean, how many games have we had where it's been like okay, let's go through them. So we have Ghost that didn't get a sequel. We have Advanced Warfare that didn't get a sequel. We have World War II, which didn't have a sequel.
Infinite Warfare,
which didn't have a sequel as well. We've had Vanguard, which probably won't get a sequel.
Will definitely not get a sequel.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe technically it will, but it won't be Vanguard because that game has to be canon now. It's there now. It has to be canon.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, it's fine. That's fine. No, that's fine.
No, let's let Trent make a World War II game. Let him make a World War II.
Hey, all I gotta say is Vanguard canon, maybe not, maybe yes, who knows? But you know what? One thing is going to be canon pretty soon. The one thing that's going to be canon pretty soon, and I can't believe I'm going to say this: Godzilla.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, this is one of the topics.
This is another topic that I want to talk about here, because remember when Godzilla fought in World War II?
Honestly, I remember back in the day when the Nazis were winning, we all had to, you know, awaken the king, the Godzilla,
of course,
and get him to yes. So
you know what's
Godzilla
funny about this too, man, is like, the only reason why I say that is because during the season 3 cutscene, which by the way, season 3 has its own name now, Classified Arms, which is very interesting. In the cutscene, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you know, the Nebula 5 gas is going to awaken something that shouldn't be awoken," right? And it's like the Godzilla roar, and it's like, what? Like, hang on a second, wait a minute, whoa.
Where the fuck does this come from?
like, why is Godzilla going to be canon here pretty soon, right? Like, I know Call of Duty has done its movie crossovers, like Die Hard and Nakatomi Plaza, right? But like, then this brings that into question. Is Die Hard canon in Call of Duty because Nakatomi Plaza's in fucking Verdansk? Like what's going on here? You know? So
it's weird. They're trying to do like these and again, like, you know, I like in-game events and that. So they're trying to do these Fortnite events where they're trying to get collaborations with like, you know, big names and all that. And I think this event will be similar in the sense where it's like the Krampus event, but it will be with a giant Godzilla, and it like, okay, so it won't be similar, but it won't be like a oh, the event is you get a skin bundle.
I think that it has to be something similar to the Battle of Verdansk. It has to be. Right?
Yeah, something where like Godzilla's like out in the ocean or something, and he's walking towards us, and we have to like shoot him. So the thing is as well, Phil, right, is like, if it's gonna be like an event, I don't know if it's something where we would fight him, right?
I think it would have to be, because, you know, if Task Force Harpy, which is the task force in season 3, that again, these operators that have like no character and like they don't say anything, and, you know, I don't know what, you know, what's writing, you know, it's kind of alluding to the fact that Godzilla is going to be an enemy, because it's like, oh, the gas, the Nebula 5 gas, and ooh, something's coming, right? So I think this could be an event very similar to the Battle of Verdansk, where everyone just teams up and you shoot rockets at Godzilla or something, right? Or this could be the event of, you know, maybe Godzilla's like the Origins robot, where he's stepping over Caldera in like a walking cycle, and, you know, you got to avoid him. Or maybe he like destroys certain areas, or, you know, maybe he does something like that to disrupt the gameplay flow, but something that's not too annoying like Krampus, where Krampus literally targets players. I think that's the main thing that Krampus was just such a pain in the ass for, targeting players. That's why people hated it, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like, oh, well, you know, having Krampus in itself is a bad idea, because it could be interesting as like an in-game boss fight, but it just was just a pain in the ass because it went after people.
Yeah.
Godzilla could be just an environmental thing that people have to avoid. So that way, you know, everyone has the same chance to avoid Godzilla. And like, I don't know, those are just some of my ideas.
Here's the thing, right? With Godzilla, he's had a history of being good and bad. I don't really know like much about him, so I've looked up here. So do you know what the origin of Godzilla is?
Gojira. Right? With the old, you know, Japanese kind of a thing, right? Those old movies, right?
Well, yeah, technically, but is actually like what made him?
I have no idea. I don't know Godzilla lore.
It says here, so in the movie, it was revealed that Godzilla was born as a direct result of atomic bomb. So I'm having a look here. Was he like a normal lizard, and then he just like grew massively because of the bomb, or like, okay,
I guess.
So that's happened there, right, or whatever. So that's happened there.
Okay.
Then let's see here. Okay, so I've also typed in, is Godzilla good or bad, right?
Okay.
And because again, with the movies, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. It's normally because something else is pissing him off, and that's why he's like killing
King
people,
Kong and all that, right?
Well, even King Kong, it wasn't that. I'm pretty sure it was like a frequency. Spoilers for for Kong versus Godzilla or whatever.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was like there was like a frequency set off to lure him out, because then at the end of that movie, it wasn't neither Godzilla or King Kong was the bad guy. It was like like
Oh.
the robot Godzilla,
Hmm.
Cyberzilla. Yeah, I think it was that.
I
You
think
know
I
what
know
I'm
what
on
you're
about?
talking about.
Well, there's a version of
He's like a
Godzilla that's
mecha
made
Godzilla kind of a thing.
Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, there's a version of Godzilla that's like a robot. They
Okay.
made it to like, I don't know, like fight her or something.
Why
And
not, right? I mean,
he fucking dies in the movie in like 5 minutes. So
oh,
the
okay.
biggest threat dies in like 5 minutes. So he died.
Oh, that's fine then.
But what I'm thinking here is obviously Warzone and that whole thing likes its idea of nukes, right? And I think it's going to correlate where Godzilla is in some way, shape, or form connected to all this nukes. I mean,
Probably.
when did he originate from actually as well? Because the Godzilla movies are thingies. So let's type in how old is Godzilla? Because
I don't know.
technically he might actually be canon.
So
So
that's the whole thing I'm saying, right? Like Godzilla could be a canon part of Call of Duty if they're marketing it in this way to make it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't actually. I don't know. It's actually kind of confusing because as the post-launch Vanguard story is going right now, you're having Butcher narrate to Hudson, Woods, Mason, and Adler all of the, well, when I was, doing stuff in World War II, I was doing all this stuff with the Vanguard and Task Force Yeti and all that stuff, right? And he's like narrating the stories about what he did during World War II. So, a lot of these stories kind of don't connect either. And that's another problem that I have with the Vanguard story. These stories don't connect, right? And these task forces and these operators have like no characteristics and have like no personalities really. I know you can build off of the characters with their like bios, that you can read the bios, but there's a difference between reading the bios and actually seeing something happen, because the bio is just a paragraph of the character. That doesn't really give you too much insight. It's almost like a breakdown for like an audition, right? Like when I'm reading a character bio on Vanguard, it's like I'm reading a breakdown for a voiceover audition. It's like it just tells you what the character's about, but doesn't really tell you the character. It doesn't show you the character. And it's almost like, I don't know, do they expect people to like use their imagination with this? I don't really know. And like even when you watch the cutscenes for some of these characters, it doesn't give you too much of an insight. It's just like, I show up and I shoot some Nazis and that's it. And it's like, okay, cool, but like what else do you do? Right? Like, I don't know. So I don't know. It's very it's in such a drastic contrast to Cold War because what'd you find?
So okay, there was two things. So he originates, like, I think, like, the idea of Godzilla. He originates from 65 years ago. So that's that. And you know how his origin was like atomic bomb? I don't know. I think that must factor in some other way, because this here saying he's like 2 million years old.
Oh geez. Okay. Wow.
So technically he could be a World War II veteran. So I mean, technically, here's the thing, right?
World War II veteran.
I mean, we were joking about it, like saying, I remember when Godzilla was canon. Well, technically, in his universe, whatever universe this is, he could have been like in World War II. So maybe don't quote it like that, where he's a World War II veteran. But I mean, technically, he could have been there. So
Grandpa
in this
Godzilla,
universe,
tell us about Normandy.
Fuck's sake. So technically he can be there. There's no like in terms of his actual lore and storyline, he could be there. It's not like he was made in like the 1970s or whatever, and he's just appearing in World War II. So yes, he's from like millions of years ago, and he's like a big dinosaur. And he's not just like some lizard that had like had some uranium poisoning and then got made massive. So yes, Godzilla, it is completely possible for him to be in World War II.
Okay, sure. I mean, here's the thing too. We make fun of it, right? But at the same time, it's not like a derogatory making fun of it either. It's just a silly thing. It's just kind of silly. I mean, but if they're able to like write Godzilla into the lore in a competent way, I'm all for it. I don't care. Like, I mean, we literally the fucking Dark Ether is canon, right? Zombies is canon. The Forsaken, all these crazy monsters are canon. So like, fuck it. What if Godzilla comes from the Dark Ether? How about that? I'm down. Cool. I'm down.
Tying that into the storyline.
Shit.
The MonsterVerse is canon into like the Dark Ether storyline.
Dude, Godzilla's an elder god from the Dark Ether. I'm down.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Fuck
I'll
it.
take it. Imagine a Dark Eva version of him, like the purple glowing eyes, and like,
ooh, yeah, that'd be
oh,
cool.
that'd be cool, like a giant boss fight where
Is that the
that'd
boss
be
fight for
sick.
Shinonuma Reborn?
I mean, honestly, I mean, Godzilla would just step on Shinonuma because Shinonuma is about the size of his foot.
True.
But I mean, honestly, I could see it. I could absolutely it'd be cool. It'd be a giant dinosaur. I'm all for it. Because we had a boss fight with giant dinosaur before. I don't
No,
think
I mean we've had giant elephants, we've had giant eyeballs, we've had.
I mean, imagine that.
The Forsaken, who was pretty giant.
Imagine a zombie map, right? And this could be in the future, where the main goal is to like revive a dinosaur, like Jurassic Park style, where they get the DNA and whatever, and you're making your way through this facility. You do the Easter egg on that, and you just get put into this arena, and there's a giant zombified T-Rex.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool would that be as a boss fight?
Hey, considering Division 9 tried to, bring back dragons, and, Group 935 stole that research. I mean, I know that's technically not in the story anymore, but I mean, a lot of that stuff has been banished to the Dark Ether, right? So,
yeah.
I mean,
well, I think here's the thing. I think technically anything that's from the, that's happened can absolutely happen again. I think there are some gray areas. Like, what's the deal with Dr. Monty? Like, are they in the Dark Ether, or is there technically, like, how do I put it? Like, obviously, Dr. Monty is around for like way before the zombies and that, right?
Yeah.
Like he was there before that. The same as the Shadow Man. It was just like they hadn't made their way to Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, technically that could still be the case. It really depends, but at the same time, it's like, who knows?
I mean,
that's something we can deal with in Cold War 2.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it this way, we're still learning about the Dark Ether. We're still learning about what's going on.
From like
yeah. So I mean, even Cortifex himself, right? When you're doing the transport objective, which again, good Treyarch writing, when you're doing the transport objective and you're escorting the floating head, he's like, do you even realize what you're doing? Do you realize that you're summoning things that are like evil, and you're summoning things that you can't even comprehend? Like you're trying to message the deepest, darkest depths of the Dark Ether. You don't know what kind of freakish monsters and other gods could just be wrathful.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's in there. And I think he has a point, honestly, Cortifex. And I think Cortifex knows Dr. Monty. If we're putting it in that perspective, if Cortifex is supposed to be the ruler of the Dark Ether, he's supposed to be the big bad guy of the Dark Ether storyline, I think he has to know Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man, or
he's knowing what's going on at least.
Yeah, like what, are they banished to like the deepest parts of the Dark Ether? Are the Shadow Man and Dr. Monty like trapped in the Dark Ether, and Cortifex like overseeing them? Maybe Cortifex is the good guy all along, right? Like maybe, we pull like Kingdom Hearts here.
Stuff in there. Yeah.
Like, Xehanort is a misguided good guy, and Xehanort thinks by fixing all the worlds, you got to take over Kingdom Hearts and plunge the world back into darkness, because if you plunge the world into darkness, that's where light comes from and you start over. Like, who knows? Maybe Cortifex is a misguided good guy.
In a way, it's like how Dr. Monty was at first. I mean, we all thought he was like not the good guy per se, but we felt like, he was looking out for like the good of humanity.
A neutral guy.
Yeah, but in reality, he just wants everything to be perfect. Yeah. He doesn't really care how he gets there. Like, he just doesn't want zombies.
He wants his perfect universe.
Yeah. So, and he doesn't care how many people he has to like kill to do that. So it's like, is he really good? Because he's doing it because he wants to. He wants to do that. I mean, we know Shadow Man's kind of bad. I think that's like,
the Shadow Man just wants to make he wants the Apothecans to rule, Yeah.
So, I mean, he's bad-ish, I guess.
He's definitely an antagonist, right?
Yeah. Again, his morals aren't personal. Like, he's not doing this because he's like, he hates us. He just wants to take over.
I mean, he may hate Dr. Monty, but
he hates Dr. Monty, right? But like us as like playable characters, I reckon, like, he maybe not as. I mean, we did put him in a key, the summoning key. So
I mean,
he was nothing personal,
just
So I mean that annoy me if I was putting a summoning key twice. So
I mean, hey, But hey, I
God
mean,
damn it.
long story short, this all stemmed from Godzilla. Long story short, there's a Godzilla event coming soon. They also posted a teaser of some of the new weapon blueprints. There's a Godzilla weapon blueprint that looks like we're going to be able to unlock or earn or something. And it looks very much like the Necro King blueprint for the Krieg from Cold War, which is interesting. We're going to have 2 dragon-like monster Godzilla blueprints, which is going to be interesting, I guess. And then other people also noticed that one of the blueprints has a monkey on it, which a lot of people are saying King Kong is going to be showing up, and we're going to have like a remake of the movie or something. I don't know, but
well, I hate to spoil it for you guys, but neither of them win. So,
dude, who knows? I mean, honestly, I mean, if they can do the event right, I'm all for it, right?
Yeah.
I think Nakatomi Plaza was a great event for Warzone. And the majority of this, by the way, for those of you who didn't know, is going to be Warzone related because, money.
Yeah.
And, that's where the focus is right now, mainly for Call of Duty and events like that, which is fine, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I thought Rebirth Reinforced was a great event. I really had a fun time with that.
Yeah.
So, bring on Godzilla. Let's do it. Let's see if it's fun. And, if Godzilla ends up being canon in the Call of Duty storyline, fuck it. Okay, cool. Just write it in a competent way, and that's all I ask for.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the Marvel multiverse, right? You got other superheroes that are like canon with each other, and like whatever. So hey, whatever. Make it make sense, and we'll be fine.
Just make it like a nuke will come up or something, and now he's coming here, or a radio frequency will come up from when he was sleeping.
Yeah.
And now he wants to find out what's going on.
Something, I don't know.
And then we kill him or something, or put him back, because I don't think we'd kill him. I think we'd just he'd just go back home.
Go back home. Go back underwater or wherever the fuck he lives. I don't even know.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Godzilla. I think it could either no matter what, it'll be entertaining. I think that's the message.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man. We talked a lot about that. Oh my God, what the hell just happened? We talked about a lot today.
I mean, there was a lot to talk about.
Shit.
Compared to
dude, the last couple weeks have been just weird for Call of Duty, and I'm glad we have something to talk about. I'm glad we can really have stuff to look forward to with Cold War Year 2, Shin no Numa Reborn, Godzilla event, and we even talked about some other things too, like campaigns, some of the writing isn't as favorable in Vanguard and all that, I mean, hey, I think this was a good episode. Really, really fun episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. What do you guys think about all the stuff that's coming to the game? Season 3 of Vanguard and Warzone is coming out on April 27th. And we're also going to be getting the Black Ops Cold War content on April 27th as well, I believe, with the Season 3 updates. Keeping us tied over for Season 4 with Shin no Numa Reborn in Vanguard Zombies. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you haven't already, do all of the Easter eggs for the Super Easter eggs.
Yes, that's something we forgot.
Because that's what you need to do. You need to do all the Easter eggs, even the Outbreak ones. I'm looking at you, people who don't like Outbreak. You got to do all the Outbreak ones. And, you got to get ready for that. I just recently completed the first Outbreak Easter egg for the first time on stream the other day. So I'm all ready to go. I'm ready for the Super Easter egg. Who knows if it's going to be like director's cut maybe, or like a Perkaholic thing, or, who knows? But they said you have to go find it in a map. You got to go find what it is. So that'll be great. That'll be really fun to look at. But I guess that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. You have any closing thoughts, my friend?
Just, it's a good time. Again, when the community is at its lowest, when we're all sad and depressed, there's always something Treyarch does or the community does to bring us back up. So, yes, again, I'm happy to be a Zombies fan, and I'm looking forward to the future, as always.
This is step one.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll see how this all goes over, see how the community reacts to it. Hopefully people aren't going to be complaining and being little babies about it, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching episode 86 of the Division Z podcast. What was your favorite part, and what are you looking forward to the most? Also, let us know that in the comments as well. So with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. Check out those links down below so you stay up to date with everything that we do, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.